Hello from the German countryside. Moving across the Atlantic has given me a chance to really play the games I kept when I sold most of my game collection last year, particularly for one of my favorite systems, the Sony PSP. And since I'm nothing if not predictable, let's talk about Mega Man Powered Up. I got the PSP back when it was a big deal and just so happened to get both the major Mega Man games for it, both of which also so happened to be remakes of older titles. One was Maverick Hunter X, a remake of Mega Man X for SNES, and the other was Powered Up here, a remake of the original Mega Man 1 for NES. I've talked about Mega Man 1 ad nauseum before, as have numerous other YouTubers out there, and it's been released more times than I can reasonably count. But Powered Up is a full-on remake, complete with new graphics, a mode that has extra bosses, remixed stages, new music, and also voice acting.
I will thrust you with a loud crunch!
And quite frankly, pretty much none of that matters today. Well, not in the way you'd initially expect. Oh, what, you want an in-depth review and not the retrospective ramblings of some 20-something? Damn, that sucks. What I want to talk about today is probably the coolest addition to Mega Man Powered Up, and something that's sorely lacking from the Mega Man series ever since, the Level Creator mode. While you just have some basic level parts to start, as you go through the game there's a huge variety of level packs to choose from. There are even some you could get as free DLC, such as the 8-bit packs, the Ghosts and Goblins pack, and the Weird Japan pack. And they don't just look different from one another, some have different traps and enemies and even obstacles you can use. It's really cool. However, what makes the ability to make your own Mega Man levels just that much more special is a huge amount of playable characters in Powered Up. Initially, Mega Man himself just has his basic running, jumping, and shooting moveset that he had in Mega Man 1 and 2, and I guess 9 and 10 as well. But throughout this game, you can unlock his slide and charge shot, and also the ability to play as each of the different Robot Masters, who themselves have their own movesets and special abilities. Oh, and you can play as non-powered up Mega Man. That's neat. All in all, you have 3 flavors of classic Mega Man, his non-powered up form that just has his dinky little kick, Gutsman, Cutman, Iceman, Fireman, Electman, Bombman, and newcomers Time Man and Oil Man. But then on top of that, this game had free DLC. Yeah, remember when that stuff was usually free? You could download and unlock both Proto Man, who has a shield that can protect him from basic attacks and whose basic shot has the strength of a full Mega Man charge shot, and Roll, Mega Man's sister, who can smack enemies around with a broom and can be dressed up like a doll with downloadable costumes.
Typical woman.
This one game, not including Roll's costumes, has 14 different playstyles to pick through, and this stage maker really lets you put those to the test. Now, I unfortunately don't have any way to record a PSP right now, but I think this video is a great time to dive into an old corner of YouTube that I haven't visited in years, and one that I remember fondly: the Mega Man Powered Up custom stage community. Yeah, before Mario Maker or even the fan-made Mega Man Maker, this was a really neat niche community that I spent a lot of time with. It was cool back when Capcom's servers were working as they should, to just go and watch some cool stages get showed off online, and then to actually go download them straight to my PSP. Well, I mean, whenever the Wi-Fi at my parents' place was working, since at the time we were living in semi-rural Texas, but you get the point. Browsing these even introduced me to one of the oldest genres of content here on YouTube: Let's Plays. Yeah, I used to watch a ton of those. And while few of the channels I'd come to watch, or rather binge after going down this Mega Man fueled rabbit hole 10 years and some back, seem to still be around, it's still a moment in time that I still felt worth mentioning. I think there were a few things that stood out to me in Powered Up custom stages, as they were usually done though. I remember really getting into Iceman stages at one point, since his Ice Slasher ability could freeze enemies into platforms, so pretty much you'd have to combine precision shooting with precision platforming or else you'd be screwed. There are also ones with Oil Man, who could turn a little puddle of oil into a snowboard-esque thing. Those always gave me big Ice Cap Zone vibes, if you know what I mean, and the best ones always had a really nice fast flow to them. And I mentioned these 2 styles, but really, there is so much potential for different playstyles here, and since different stages could have multiple different characters playable on them, you could actually have a stage that, say, has one path for Iceman, but a completely different path for Electman. Oh, and I have to mention all the various auto-scrolling stages. Before they were flooding Super Mario Makers online, there were a good few of them in Mega Man Powered Up. Granted, since Mega Man can't just jump on enemies, these end up being a bit more complex usually, and always felt harder to pull off decently. Probably one of the coolest tricks I used when designing my own stages were custom boss rooms. See, when you finish off your Mega Man powered up custom stage, you have to put a boss room at the end, because I mean, it's Mega Man, right? This contained one of the 8 robot masters from the game proper, or just a party ball that ends the level once it's shot. Yeah, you can't use any of the Dr. Wily Fortress bosses. Sorry, Yellow Devil fans. Also, the boss rooms themselves are supposed to all just be the same square chambers. Kind of boring, right? Except, if you build this little hook-shaped structure right in front of the boss door, and kind of just finagle yourself in there just right when you jump, you can actually glitch Mega Man through the floor of the boss room. Now, if you haven't built some sort of stage room below the boss room, Mega Man will either die or your game will freeze, or both. I've had both happen before. But if you do things just right, you can actually go into a custom boss room and the boss will spawn in like normal to fight you. No clue why bosses can't just be spawned normally in stages, but hey, I definitely had fun exploiting this glitch. You could have epic battles on floating platforms, make the boss part of a puzzle, or just be a bitch and make the player have to fight off against Spike Wallman. It's a shame Powered Up never got a re-release on any other system, and that never got a sequel. Hell, if I remember right, it never even got a proper digital release on PSN. What's up with that? Yeah, this is like one of the few PSP games that you have to buy physically if you want to play it. I would have loved a stage maker like this based around Mega Man 2 or 3 or 6. I mean, I guess Mega Man Universe was supposed to be that, but for Mega Man 2, but also with a character maker thrown as well. And, you know, it got cancelled. It's a shame. I need to give that fan-made Mega Man maker a shot, as it looks like a lot of fun. But for now, I guess I'll just keep coming back to Powered Up every once in a while. And just in case you get your hands on a copy of Powered Up, here's a quick run through of 5 stages I found on YouTube that are worth checking out. I'm not sure if there's any way to actually download them still, but hey, you can remake them yourself if all else fails, I guess. The first stage is from, oh god, I'm going to butcher this, Tornado Hainyaku, and it's called Training Field. It's an interesting testing ground for a bunch of different characters, and it's a cool showcase of how stages can be constructed that support multiple different playstyles. Satoryu's Torian is a remake of the area of the same name from Metroid, specifically the Metroid Zero Mission version. I always love seeing bits from one game being remade in another game's level maker. It was something I also really loved about Little Big Planet. I feel like Powered Up had a much more intuitive level maker. One of the YouTubers from back in the day who is still around is fellow trans creator Robin. And one of the stages she showed off back in the day was called Coat Pockets Dojo, which uses that really neat, cool Japan pack. I don't know what it is about those sushi-themed floor tiles, but they give me life. Here's one that's filled with some neat fire puzzles. It's Fire Shoot by Monster Man MFR. Nothing much to say here besides it's some solid platforming. And finally, though I'm recording this in January, I want to give special mention to Kaneki Kane's Happy Halloween stage, which both features the Ghosts and Goblins level pack and puts some custom boss room glitch to good use. And of course, if you've made some of your own levels, know some cool Mega Man powered up levels that have been shared out on the internet, or just want to share your general memories with the game, definitely let me know in the comments below. This title always feels fresh and new to me when I play it, despite being nearly 17 years old. Yeah, it came out in 2006, though for what it's worth, I didn't play it until around 2009. Still, that's a long time to be playing any video game, though maybe I'm just waxing nostalgic, since I turned 25 a few weeks ago. Speaking of milestones, I mentioned back in December that I was going to be stepping away from making videos unless I really had the itch to make one, and well, yeah, I really got the itch to make this one after talking with an old friend about this game the other day. I've gotten a good few questions over the past month, and some being like, hey Jamie, where's the new videos? And like, instead of asking, please just refer to my Why I Sold My Game Collection vid from back in December. Moving from North America to Germany for work is a big, exciting adventure, but also a bit of an adjustment. Besides, I've been enjoying spending some time on some of my other hobbies as well, along with just exploring everything there is to offer here. I also know I said in that video that my next video would be the Art of Failure finale featuring the Gizmondo story, and I'm still trying to get that script to a point I'm truly happy with. So for now, instead of putting a hard release date on that mini doc or proper doc, however long it ends up being, I'm just gonna say it's out if/when it's out. And on a final note, now that I'm in Europe, I really need to get my hands on a PSP E1000. There's not a ton of game stuff I really want for myself anymore. Honestly, I'm playing my new home office space and there's more room going to model trains and retro games. But I've always been fascinated by this weird internet-incapable PSP, and if I get one, maybe I'll do a video on it, or at least a shorter TikTok thing. Anyways, I need to go off to catch a high-speed train to Berlin. Tschüss!